Hey, shalom, shalom. How you want to wab, which is good day. Knock na waha I bar yashala, how lakim la thumb. Call shabawai baharacha wa kakshaw Yahweh bahasham Yahweh shah ma'amath, which is truly. Hey, with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh bahasham Yahweh shah to preach these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, and Israelite foreigners. Nachamatam kayah malakwat hashemayim korab. Repent, yea, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Layim La, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah, Bahasham Chahakodash, Wamashana, Kabadim Zukwayim Nawa, Wamalakim, Shoye Shalazukwayim Rachagadawa, Wachasad, Washalawam, Wabarakim, Laha, Bacharim Shah, Hakawaya Shah Shalawam. Alright, so all praise to the Most High Yahweh, which means He exists, Bahasham, and the name Yahweh Shah He delivers. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom, which means peace. This is an article on RT. It reads, it says, WHO warns of imminent extreme weather events. It says the international body predicts a major uptick in droughts, floods, hurricanes, and other natural disasters. Now, how would they know this? I'm going to get a quick precept. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, or 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, lest Shaitan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Now, pretty much, they want to bring in those lockdowns, you see, which Esau more than likely will do, but he's, using his weather machines, sprinkling the clouds with the cloud seeding type things, and then also spraying stuff into the air, to coincide with that NWO, to push forth how he does it. He wants those 15-minute cities, so just how they did with the vid, he wants to institute something similar to that. All right, so moving on, going back to the article, it says, WHO Director General Tedros G has said climate change will drive a surge in extreme weather events in 2023, pointing to record-breaking temperatures around the globe this week. And in England, it was like 113 degrees and cars was melting, you see. And a lot of that is because this devil has, sprayed things into the ozone layer, destroying the natural protection, or pretty much destroying how the earth works. All right. It says, speaking during a Wednesday press briefing, Tedros said climate crisis is now among the major factors determining human health outcomes, warning that the global warming could ultimately produce a wave of hunger, migration, and disease. And pretty much, they want to say, hey, they're ultimately the ones that's doing it, but they'll say, oh, well, we need these 15-minute cities because that's going to reduce the amount of exhaust going into the air, destroying the like the ozone layer or something like that, But I'm gonna keep going. It says, over the coming months, we expect a range of extreme weather events, including droughts, floods, hurricanes, and heat waves, all of which harm human health. He said, also noting that Monday marked the hottest day record for average temperatures around the world. A prolonged drought and heat wave in the Horn of Africa has already had a major impact, putting great strain on local health services. Tedros added, containing Djibouti, Ethiopia, which is Kawash, Kenya, Somalia, South Sudan, and Uganda, the region recently suffered its worst drought in decades, with nearly 60 million people now food insecure. All right, which that's going to play into the famine as well. So I'm gonna get a quick precept. This is Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 16. It says, moreover, he said unto me, son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Yerushalayim, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment, that they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away for their iniquity. Now, that's going into the nation of Yasha'Allah. However, I want to grab the point that pretty much food is going to be rationed out. Food will be rationed out, and it's going to be given out for a certain amount of money, like it mentions in Revelation. chapter 6 and verse 6, it says, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. See thou hurt not the oil and the wine." So pretty much, again, going into that rationing of the food, all right, because it's going to be a famine, all right, which the heat waves and like the world is already in a food insecurity, but this is going to further push forth that famine. So going back, it says some countries have seen the highest levels of severely malnourished children in years, largely thanks to famine, the WHO chief said. While the drought in the region has given way to heavy rain and flooding, hunger levels are expected to remain high. Data released by U.S. National Center's environmental prediction on Monday showed an average global temperature of 17.01 degrees Celsius, 62 Fahrenheit, an all-time high that easily beat the previous record of 16.92. It says locals from Texas to China to Antarctica have also been in the grips of major heat waves, which some climate scientists have attributed to overall global warming and stronger than usual El Nino warm weather pattern this year. El Nino is a periodic weather cycle in which warm air is pushed away from the tropics and the Pacific Ocean, having far-ranging effects of temperature and rainfall around the world. The warm phase can produce extreme weather, including hurricanes, and recent research suggests such events have become more frequent over the years, allegedly due to effects of climate change. Now we know it's how this devil is ruling the world. I'm gonna get a quick precept. This is Mashaliah, Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And everybody's going to be rejoicing because pretty much the earth is going to be ran how it's supposed to be ran. It's supposed to be ruled. It's supposed to be ran in righteousness. All right, we're not going to have to worry about climate change, cows farting too much, so to speak. These vehicles, everything isn't going to be mourning. All right, but it says, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's because this devil is ruling the world in wickedness. He doesn't show the earth the due benevolence that it needs to be shown. All right, he overuses things. The scriptures goes into how he can't be satisfied, you see. So that's why the scriptures say, if this was to continue on, no flesh should be saved. All right, because this devil overuses everything. All right, he has an unsatiable appetite. All right, moving on. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 17. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right, going into how they want to, have come with these climate lockdowns. All right, and also how Esau wants to have those 15-minute cities. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall desire to go, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy the houses with the sword, which pretty much represents a killing instrument. All right, it can be anything, It says, and spoil their goods because of lack of bread, or because it's going into that famine, going into how the food is going to be rationed out. All right, it says, and for great tribulation, it's going to be a lot of things going on, all right, because we're coming up into that time of Jacob's trouble, Yaquab Tazarah, all right, pretty much. It's going to be a time like no other, and let's get that. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right. Which I mentioned, Jacob is Yaquab, all right, and trouble is Tazarah. Pretty much going into a time of adversity. All right. But it's going to be a time like no other. All right. It's going to be famine. It's going to be the spoiling of houses, And if you're not covered by the Lord, you're going to be destroyed. All right. But Adawan Wartazah Zabanaya Palo as well. That was a beautiful edification through the Spirit. Wow. Adawan Wartazah. A thumb Yash Yawam Tawab. Lord's will you all have a good day. Hey, Shalom.